Good morning. As you can see, it's absolutely a beautiful morning. Sun's shining wonderfully. The greenhouse is about 78 degrees right now. I've turned on the fan, so I've put on my new mic. I hope you can hear me. Elsewise, it's supposed to silence some of the fan out. Hard for me to scream to talk to you. I came in here this morning to give you a few updates. A couple days ago, my granddaughter Mia and I came out here to try to address this furious, nasty pile of fire ants here in the corner of this box with the chard. And every time I would come in here to work with the chard or the Russian red kale, I had to be really careful because in the corner here, it was just clobbered. There was a nest with thousands and thousands of fire ants. So we tried two experiments. We put jalapeno pepper on it. I did that myself once. They just thought that was stuff to have a party with, candy and cake, you know. They didn't do anything. They came out, tacked the pepper mess that was in the water, and didn't do a thing. They just laughed. But we brought out hot, boiling red cayenne pepper tea. Now, I had put a ton of red pepper in this. A friend of mine who has a birthday today, happy birthday, Kirk. He actually explained to me some things about getting rid of ants. And also with the reading I did, I found out as well that ants don't like powder substances. And that was one of the things that he was addressing when he had fire ants, was he was using certain powders, and they did work. But I like this idea because it got rid of them in a hurry. So anyway, the red pepper tea, what it does is, because it's boiling, number one, it scalds them to death. But Kirk had told me that going down, deep down into the nest, that there would be tunnels where they could go and like hide, escape to, the ones who had not been already boiled to death. They could hide back in those tunnels and the water wouldn't reach in there. Even if I loaded it down, you know, at very beginning, it wouldn't get to it. But he said just to keep pouring scalding hot water. Well, I didn't do that. I had a big pot full, but that was all. And came out here this morning to look at it. I am happy to say those ants are really gone. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you. I've pounded on the sheet metal that's on the outside of the bed. I've pounded on the wood. Nothing comes out. Usually thousands would come out. But there was one lone ant walking around who acted like he was lost. Well, he's not even there now, but anyway, the thing is, when we first looked, we didn't see any. But when we left the greenhouse that day, Mia and I, we noticed as we passed and looked down that there was about 50 ants that did come crawling out of the hole. So what Kirk told me about them storing themselves away in tunnels that couldn't be touched is true. But here's the bad news. Those 50 have gone and set up housekeeping somewhere else in this greenhouse. So we're going to have to keep working with it, keep pouring boiling hot water, pepper tea on it. I'm also going to go in the house in a little bit and get the red cayenne pepper, and I'm going to sprinkle it all over the ground here, where in the corner where they were at, so that they'll never come back, because the books say that it makes the ground uninhabitable for them. So if I have to load every one of these grounds, these boxes full of red pepper tea and red pepper granulated, I'll do it. Because Bob and I, we're sick of the ants that are in here. I'll put it on all the ground in here. We just need to get rid of them because I'm allergic to bee stings, and apparently I'm allergic to these stings as well, because I have a terrible time getting over it. So anyway, okay, the next update I wanted to give you was we were having trouble with flowering. Now, not that we didn't have flowers, we did, but they were all female. And so even though they're bearing tons and tons of different things, we didn't have any male flowers. So we couldn't pollinate, because we're going to have to self-pollinate because there's not been any bugs. I mean, as far as, you know, that type of thing. We've had ants and a few aphids here and there, but we haven't had any bees come in here, which we want to get into beekeeping, but we haven't done that yet. And no butterflies have come in, and they have plenty of ways to get in here, but they haven't come in, so we're going to have to self-pollinate. So at least now we found out that the reason why we weren't having any male flowers was because we were overwatering in here. Now some things like the overwater, like the cabbages they're so big. I've never seen anything so large in my life. I feel like I'm in a jungle every time I come in here. But, and as you can see, our tomato plants are huge. The kale is growing. We've given kale and kale and kale and kale and kale and chard and chard and chard and chard away. And you just can't outgive God. And He has just given back monumentally each time. And we just keep giving away. But we do have some problems in that bed over there. What the problem is that the Brussels sprouts just are not growing. We've done everything they've recommended to do. All we're getting is greens. So I think we're going to remove them. We're going to cut down all the greens, chop them up, put them in the freezer. And same thing with the cauliflower. They're not bearing any heads of cauliflower. We had wonderful, big, luscious heads of broccoli, but the cauliflower's not working. So what we've decided is we're going to stick with broccoli since we know that grows. And it'll grow well. But anyhow, we're just going to chop all those leaves up, put them in the freezer, and use them in soups or use them for whatever we want to. I'm actually going to cut the chard down today because this one will also eventually, very soon, be empty as well. So we got other things we want to plant because we still got all of summer to go through. I think we might even plant a little bit of corn, a row of corn, which would be phenomenal because we've not grown corn in years because of the GMO problems. So anyhow, we have found seed that we know will be non-GMO'd. So anyway, thank you so much for coming out here and getting the update. Y'all have an absolutely blessed day. And do always remember every single day the one who gives us all this stuff, because He's the one we need to thank the most. So, see you next time. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.